to my YouTube channel. This is part 1 of me telling you guys how I lost my baby at 17 weeks and also having a condition called subchorionic hemorrhage. It's a condition that you can have during your pregnancy. Most women have it, most women don't, but it's really hard for me to pronounce it, so we're going to call it SH throughout my video, and I'll just leave a description. I'll leave it in the description box, or I'll put it, tag it somewhere, the name of it, and I'll just tell you guys more about it and my experience of finding out how I was pregnant. And okay, so the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is how I found out I was pregnant. Like, we're gonna start from the beginning. So it will be a part 1 and a part 2 to this video. First part is gonna be me talking about my experience of my 5 months of being pregnant. Then part 2 will be my experience of how I lost my son and how I'm handling it 3 months later. So let's get right into this. So this is part 1 to how I found out I was pregnant, and my child's father reaction, my reaction on finding out I was pregnant. So it will be a part 2 to this video. The next video I will tell you guys like how I lost my son and how I was handling it, and more about the condition that I had. So the first part is just be mainly how I felt that I was pregnant. So when I found that I was pregnant, I was already a month. I was 5 weeks, so basically a month and like a week pregnant already. And what made me take a pregnancy test was I missed my period. Like, I'm like, okay, what's going on? This is not like, I have an irregular cycle, so it was kind of normal, but it was just like, still, it just didn't feel right. So when I found that I was pregnant, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I was gonna be completely honest in this video. I was embarrassed. Like, I didn't want nobody to know. Even though I was with 2 of my friends, I was embarrassed. Like, I just was like, I'm pregnant. And the situation with my child father was like, we was done with each other. Like, we was just done with whatever we had going on. Friendship, situationship, whatever. Like, it was over with. So, like, I was just, like, disgusted with myself, honestly. Like, ew, you pregnant. Like, it wasn't a happy moment for me. So when I found out I was pregnant, it was Memorial Day. I had took 2 pregnancy tests or whatever, and I was at my friend's house. So when I took the test, like, we all just sitting in the room. It was her and her auntie. So we just sitting in the room, and I'm just looking, like, thinking to myself, like, this is a joke. This has to be a joke. Like, I just know I'm being pranked. Somebody's gonna bring the cameras out. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not pregnant. So they're asking me, like, how am I gonna tell my child father, like, I'm pregnant? Like, so throughout the video, I'm gonna call my child father B. We're just gonna call him B. So they like, how you gonna tell B that you pregnant? Like, you know, you said that y'all done with each other. I'm like, I don't know. He blocked me, I blocked him. Is no communication. So I had one of my friends call off her phone, like, call him and tell him that I was pregnant. So she's like, hey, Sahana's pregnant. She took some pregnancy tests. They came up positive. And he said, click. That's exactly what he said. He said nothing. Like, he hung up the phone. Like, maybe he thought, like, I was doing it to, like, get back with him, to fuck with him again, but I was being serious. So he thought I was joking. Basically, my child father thought, like, I was just faking my pregnancy. Like, this psycho crazy bitch just want to be pregnant by me. Which that wasn't the case. It was hot girl summer. Like, I set out my hot girl summer. But anyways, so at this point, I just get real depressed. Like, I was depressed to the point, like, every day of my pregnancy, I cried, like, every single day. Like, I just cried, like, to the point I was just so tired of crying. I was just over being pregnant, and I wasn't even 5 seconds pregnant. Like, I was just over it. Like, ugh, just hated it. So yeah, I was depressed. Like, I was just going through it in my head, because I'm just thinking, like, I'm pregnant by somebody that don't want me or my child. Like, it was just too much to deal with at the time. So my child father just, like, wouldn't reach out to me. Like, it just wouldn't, I don't know, it just didn't work. Like, it just wouldn't work. We just argued. Like, basically, my time finding out I was pregnant, it was depressing. Like, I came home, I didn't tell my mom yet, but I came home and I just remember like bawling my eyes out. Like, I was in my room because I stayed at my best friend's house for a week. Like, I was just so afraid to go home. I was so afraid to tell anybody. Like, I was just going through it. So I went home and I cried. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I literally put my face in a pillow and just cried. Like, how did I get here? Like, that's how I felt. Like, I'm getting emotional to talk about it because it was not a happy moment for me. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like it was not. So as time went on, like those few weeks, like I had finally told my mom, like she was 100% supportive. Like, my family was supportive, down to my brother. My dad was even supportive. Like, you supporting me? First time in forever. But yeah, so like I had like major support on my family. Like, so that started to make me like appreciate that I even had a chance to carry a baby. Like, I started to appreciate my pregnancy. Like, I'm not even gonna say love it, because I was just appreciated. So I just like would pray to God like it was a dream. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was praying to God like, I'm gonna wake up and this is gonna be fake. I'm not pregnant, da da da. So the more time went on, the more me and my child father hated each other. That's what it felt like. We had a moment, like, I lost my son. I was 5 months, maybe 4.5. I kind of don't remember. So from that point, from the day I peed on a stick to that day I held my lifeless kid, we had one moment where we was friends. Like, we agreed on co-parenting. We agreed on how we was going to come up with a schedule. Like, we had it packed. We had it in packed. And then, like, he just swapped sides on me. Like, he turned into a whole different person. And I was like, exactly what I needed. So I couldn't check on my baby throughout my pregnancy because I lost my medical. I lost my job. I didn't get fired. I quit my job before finding out I was pregnant. So I didn't have no job. I didn't have no medical. And I also found out that I had this condition where it caused bleeding through my pregnancy. And when I found out I had that condition, I went to the bathroom and I was bleeding. If it let me, I would insert like a picture of my bed, like how the blood was in my bed. Like, I know y'all probably don't want to see that, but I just want to show y'all like this condition is aggressive. Like, it came off like, here's a 10-day period while you 4 days pregnant. I'm like, okay. Like, it was terrifying. Like, I didn't know what to think. I'm just thinking in my head, like, I'm losing this baby. It's all my fault. I'm stressed out. Like, I need to stop stressing, all this stuff. So I went to all of my doctor's appointments and hospital visits alone. Well, my best friend came, but like, as far as my child father, he didn't participate. Like, I didn't really care because I was already at a depressed stage. Like, I was just already at like I don't give a fuck anymore stage. So like, I cared for the simple fact like to see other people there with like their child father and stuff, but I didn't care enough to just like stalk him about it type shit. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love my baby. Like, I loved him because he was mine, but I didn't love him enough that I stopped myself from stressing, or I didn't let people get to me so I could save him. Like, I really wish, like, oh my God, I really wish like I was strong enough to put everything I felt aside to appreciate my kid more, because he'll probably be here. Like, I wouldn't be that stressed to the point like I lost him or whatever. But I couldn't, like, I just couldn't put my big girl pants on and stop stressing, knowing that I had this condition. Like, I was just over it. I was over being pregnant. So by the time I did appreciate, like, my son was moving, and like, I didn't really know what he was yet, but like, to feel him, I wanted him. Like, I wanted him so bad. Like, in the beginning, I probably was like 4 months pregnant. Like, I was just stepping into 4 months. And I had bled again. Like, at this point, it was horrible. Like, it was like blood clots like this big of blood. So I remember, like, I didn't care. I was bloody. Like, my legs was bloody. I was bloody. And I woke up. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke my best friend up and I woke my mom up. And I was just like, I need to go to the hospital. I'm losing this baby. But before, like, me getting ready to go, I got on my knees and I was, like, full of blood, everything. And I just begged. Like, I begged and I begged God, like, please, like, if you just don't, like, you know, if you take my selfishness away and just let me keep this baby, like, I swear I'll be a better person. Like, I was just praying. Like, I don't even know what I was saying at that point. Like, I was just I don't know, I was just praying to God, like, don't let me lose this baby, don't let me lose this baby. So when I went to the hospital, I wasn't losing him. Like, he was completely healthy, everything. So my pregnancy got worse after that. Like, my child father hated me more. I hated me more. Like, everything got rough. Like, the money I had saved up was running out. Like, I still hadn't found a job because I was pregnant. Like, I didn't have medical, so, like, hospitals didn't want to see me. I had no doctor's visits. I had no doctor. So hospitals kept telling me, like, you need to get to a doctor because hospitals not going to keep seeing you, and you're getting farther along in your pregnancy, and you have this condition. Like, some doctors in hospitals didn't even know what the condition was. So, like, I didn't know how to pronounce it. It was just a lot going on. But every day I just prayed, like, I'm not going to lose this baby. I'm not going to lose this baby. I just kept telling myself that, like, I wanted to believe that myself. So, like, basically finding out I was pregnant, I was emotional. I was depressed. I was sad. I was not happy. Like, my friends would go out and they'd be like, come out. And I'd be like, no, it's okay. I'll stay in the house. And I started to get really close with, like, my child, like, his side of, like, his father, his side of the family. Like, his sister, like, she was there, like, the whole time. Like, from the point I came around, she was there. Like, we got in an argument and everything, and she was still here for me, like, throughout my little time. Like, she took me to the hospital, like, because I was bleeding again, like, just always bleeding. But, like, even, like, days I'll be at my child's father's house or his mom's house, I literally was just be in the bathroom just crying. Like, how did I get here? Like, I'm pregnant. Like, I just didn't like it. But I'm not going to say, like, my pregnancy was just all depression and all sadness. Like, there was days where I loved my son to the point, like, I prayed for him. Like, before, I didn't even know what I was having, but I just kept saying, like, a boy. Like, I would just speak a boy. I wanted the girl at a time of a point. Like, some people might be like, she lied, she wanted the girl. No, I did want a girl, but I prayed, like, for a boy because I just needed that male figure love because I never had it before. So basically, like, me and my child father, he had texted me and told me, like, I'm gonna be here for you through your pregnancy. You know, we're gonna come to a mutual agreement on co-parenting and everything. And he switched up. But of course, I was already expecting him to switch up because he already had his own thing going on, girlfriend, everything like that. Like, I was basically, like, the problem. Like, that's how I started to feel, like, the problem. Like, I did agree on having an abortion. Like, it was some days I just was fed up. Like, you want an abortion? Have it. You win. Like, it was to the point where even now I feel like he win. You win. You won. Like, if this is what I have to go through, I don't want to go through anymore. Like, that's how I started to feel as me being pregnant. So as time went on, we just didn't work. Like, we just argued, and if we didn't argue, we didn't agree on nothing. So, like, one of his friends, like, he was very supportive. Like, he was here for me. Like, basically, like, he gonna come through. Like, you just gotta give him time. He gotta adjust. Like, he was just trying to reason with me. Like, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna let time fly by, and eventually hopefully he come through for me. Like, that's basically how I felt through my pregnancy. And of course, my child father, he was not with it. Like, he's just like, I don't want a baby. You not the person I want the baby with. If I did want a baby, like, it was bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie and make it seem like it was roses and rose petals, and no, it was nothing like that. Like, my pregnancy was nothing like that. Like, it's to the point, like, I think about getting pregnant again and I instantly, like, birth control me now. Like, right now. Like, I just can't go through everything that I went through already. But, like, finding out I was pregnant was just emotional. Like, it's just emotional. Like, I was sad. Like, nobody knew deep down inside how I felt. Like, my mom was excited. Everybody was excited. But, like, I was just like, so when does this go over? Like, I really got to go the whole 9 months. Like, I can't go half. well, I did go have, like, I feel like everything I was praying for, God was giving it to me. Like, even though it's a fucked up way, like how I had to have it, but I was praying, it's like in the beginning, like, you know, I'm just not pregnant. It's a joke. It's a joke. And then when I got to the point where I loved my son, I started to like develop this feeling, like seeing him in ultrasound pictures and hearing his heartbeat. I was like, oh my God, like I'm pregnant. I started to love him. Like I literally went to no doctors. Like, I went like a month without seeing no doctor, and I'm just bleeding blood clots. And I'm just going like, God, you're not going to let me, you're not going to put me through this. You're not going to put me through losing my child. I know you're not. So basically, like, more of the story of me finding out I was pregnant, I was not happy. So that triggered the reason why I lost my son. And in the second video, part 2, I will explain more about the condition and how I lost my son, like in details, you know, how I felt in the hospital and all that stuff like that. All of that will be explained in part 2. So basically, this was just telling you guys like how I found out I was pregnant, my reaction, my child's father reaction, like, and some of the stuff that I went through of being pregnant. I had no medical, I had no job, I had no baby daddy, I had nobody but like family and friends that was supporting me. And his side of the family, they did support me, but as far as like me wanting him to support me, I didn't have that. So yeah, this is my baby arm. I'm gonna show y'all. This is what he in. It says his name on it, and then on the back it says forever my baby. I also have a chain with his ashes in it. It's in his box. I got like a box full of stuff that I'm gonna show y'all in part 2, all his stuff. But yes, this is part 1. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned for part 2.